Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show where I get to talk to authors from all over the world. I have the best job ever. I read books half a day, and the other half of the day we talk to authors who wrote the books. Now, our next guest coming up, by the way, check out that book, The Fortune Teller's Prophecy. Not only do I have the book here, but look who I have. I have the author, Lally Pia. Welcome, Lally. Tell our viewers where you're located.
In Davis, California.
In Davis by the university, I guess. I don't know where that is. Am I close?
Yes, that's right.
Did you attend that university, by the way, or do you teach there?
I did attend. I did my bachelor's there. I did med school there. So yeah, it's my alma mater. My daughter's just been accepted to Davis to teach as a child neurologist. So it's cool.
By the way, I find your book quite intriguing. We've talked about it before, and you've been on our show with other hosts and stuff. But tell us about, because this is an amazing story. Tell us about the Fortune Teller's Prophecy. Here's the cover. Tell us about it, Lally.
So this fortune teller told my dad when I was a baby that one day this girl is going to be a doctor of doctors, and my dad and mom were so excited about it. Fast forward, I went to med school in Ghana. So this was in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Went to med school in Ghana, and then fast forward many, many years, I was in California at the age of like 35 and thinking, what was that fortune teller smoking? Because I was actually on welfare food stamps and was not a doctor.
Yeah.
But hey, the prophecy finally came true, and the story is in my memoir.
Now, the most interesting part of any story is not the outcome. I mean, you're a doctor, thank goodness, but you had quite a journey. Tell us about the journey, Lally.
Well, part of the journey, which is actually pertinent nowadays because of this immigration stuff, is our family was supposed to come to California when I was about 20 years old, 19. And what happened was they went to pick up my visa, and I went to pick up my visa to join the family. And that's when we found out my dad had got the wrong visa from them. The Americans had made a mistake. So I was like stuck with not knowing where to be, where to live, because the whole family was in California, but I'd stayed behind. So it was a really rough period of time when I was stuck in England for about a year and a half trying to make it here. And it was just tough. I did eventually make it, obviously, but it was tough.
Yeah, I'm reading stories like this in the paper today. People have saying the wrong thing or the wrong visa or whatever and getting instantly deported. But you didn't even get into the country, is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
I was stuck in, they said, can you go somewhere else? And I said, well, I was born in Sri Lanka, but guess what? There's a civil war, so I can't go there. And I have nowhere to stay in Ghana. So they said, do you have friends in England? And I said, yeah, friends in Wales. So they said, well, go and stay there. And so my friends Joan and Judy Clayton took me in for so long and paid for everything, my stay, my food. I just wasn't allowed to work. Yeah. So I was there with an extended visitor visa for about a year and a bit.
Were you allowed to work?
Oh, no.
No working,
couldn't go to school, couldn't work. I just played the organ for the few villages in Wales.
Yeah.
In that chapel. I still am in touch with John Clayton. He's a huge part of how I managed to make it through all this time.
Now let me clarify, because you have a little bit of a accent or dialect. You were in Wales?
That's right.
From Sri Lanka, trying to go to California, you got stuck in Wales.
Yeah. That's right. But I loved it. It was the Gower. It's really beautiful there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be at the family, though. So it was hard.
How long were you stuck there?
Over a year.
Mm-hmm. And from Wales, did you finally make it to Davis?
I sure did.
Yeah.
1984, I made it here.
And you went right into medical school and became a doctor in a couple months?
I wish. No, that didn't work like that. No. I came here, and then within 3 months of being here, I was like back in England because I got married to someone who was English. So I went back to England for another couple of years. And so I'd been sort of, anyway, that marriage didn't really work out either. But med school was out of the picture. It was a dream, I thought, even at the age of 35.
Yeah.
So.
And now at some point you got into Davis, you had to do some other jobs that were interesting. Can you tell us about those?
Sure. I was actually I was single on welfare and food stamps, and I needed anything to pay the bills. I had
Yes.
two girls to support. And then they said, "Would you like to work for the donated body program at UC Davis?" And I said, "Sure."
Yeah.
And that's when I got accepted, but it wasn't a fun job because even though I was the director, it meant I was alone and
Yeah.
taking human heads off body parts. So I put the heads in the top and then other body parts on the other shelves.
Yeah.
And I'd say head and shoulders. I mean, I had to make it funny
Yeah.
because I was finding it very difficult to every day see
Yeah.
who had died
Yeah.
the day before. It was a very tough job. But the good side of that is I never really take life for granted anymore. I'm a very positive person, and I think it's because when you see death every day, you realize how beautiful just a tree is or the
Yeah.
outside. So seeing death makes you really appreciate life. And
Now, were you still trying to get into medical school?
at that point, I wasn't, but then I was there for 3 years, and I was thinking, hey, I'm teaching the medical students with the body parts, you
Hmm.
know? Why don't I try again? So after 3 years of being a body part remover, I thought, oh, maybe that's what the fortune teller meant. You know, I'll be working with body parts. But
Yeah.
anyway, I reapplied to med school and I went to UC Davis.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
now, from there, did it go fairly smoothly?
No, no. In fact, that's why I think my book won a few awards because life is never often that smooth.
Yeah.
It's because I did that and I was thinking, I cannot do this. This is ridiculous. What was I thinking? I'm this old and I'm trying to start again. And I was struggling with passing my classes because I had to look after the kids. The kids got sick and trying to do med school solo is not easy.
No.
So
Yeah.
I, I went to my mom. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to give up. And she was like, okay, Lally. I thought she'd be all, worried because she had told me that I was the one doctor in the family, but here I am saying I'm giving up. And
Mm.
she said, you're smart. You'll make it. Just do whatever you like. So when she took all that pressure off me to just continue, I just thought, you know what? If it kills me, I'm going to make it through med school.
Yeah.
So I actually took 6 years to do med school.
Yeah. Amazing that
It's
you
been
did
worth
it.
it. I love it. I love what I do.
Yeah, this is a great story of overcoming obstacles and sticking with it and things not going your way, knocking you down, and you getting back up again. What a great story and a great inspiration, especially for, I love books with strong women in them that overcome. There's a lot of women who cannot overcome the divorce part, the single mother part, all those things. There's a lot to overcome. And I love these stories where people do that. So I have some people in mind I'm going to gift this book to. I want to give them this book to say, look what Lally did. And she got through it. Now she's a doctor. And what kind of doctor did you become?
I became a psychiatrist and then a child psychiatrist.
Wow.
So I work for Sacramento County,
Uh-huh.
and I see children who've had really tragic backgrounds
Yeah.
or in foster homes. But we make a difference, so that's what counts.
Now, so after you finished medical school, did you have to study further to be a psychiatrist?
Yep.
Yeah, that's,
Another 5 years because it takes 4 years to be an adult psychiatrist. It's actually 6 years, and then 2 more to be a child psychiatrist.
Yeah.
People don't realize it's a long, long road. It was, I think, 11 years after
Yeah.
that I finally got it.
right. People say, why do doctors make so much money? Well, you went many, many, many years making no money, just trying to make things work for you. And when
That's
you're finally
right.
at the end, you say, no, I'm going to stay and even do more, do even better for myself and my patients. That's a great story, Lally.
Thank you.
Are you still practicing medicine?
I am.
Good.
I work 3 days a week, but I'm just looking at because of the book because it got awards. It's being pushed by my screenwriter who is hoping to make it into a limited TV series.
Yeah.
So he's got it right now, and of course it's a long wait to see if anything happens.
Yes.
But they say wait for 2 years, but I like having that cooking.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, I'm working as a doctor, and that's just a dream.
Yeah.
To see if I can inspire people, I'm really hoping to do that.
I can see people seeing make this into a movie or a series, and people say, "Oh, that's not true," but it really happened. It was really that kind of a challenge, and you overcame it, and it's all very real. And I'd be proud to watch that and say, I know Lally. She did that. Um, are you writing still, writing more books?
I am. I'm on my next book, which, well, it's almost completed. It's a psychological thriller. It's about a psychiatrist working in a jail. I was a psychiatrist working in Redwood City Jail in the Bay Area. So I decided to make a psychological thriller with also an ethical twist.
Yeah.
So that's my kind of work, really. I
Right.
love thrillers and suspense and sort of.
Amazing. That would be amazing. By the way, I think we might have talked about this before. Now there's so many opportunities for books to be turned into a series or a movie because everybody's making their original material on Netflix, Amazon, Apple TV. All those are making things now. So I'm excited about that prospect. Lally, is it in process to actually work, or is it just still hopeful?
It's just hopeful at this point, but my screenwriter met with me last week, and he's going to talk to a person at Universal and Imagine Entertainment, and I think he said Warner, one of those three big ones.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe they'll say get lost, but who knows?
Who knows?
I think it's fine.
Yeah. You're an inspiration to me, and so many of our viewers, they're just trying to write their first book, and they can't seem to finish and put their pencil down and go through the publishing process, but you've done it, and I'm very proud of you. And I tell your story when I'm out, circulating in my social circles. I say, there's this doctor, Lally Pia. You got to hear her story, and I tell them to get your book, and hopefully they will. So where can we find your book, Lally?
Here's the book. You can find. Oh, you've got a picture of it.
Here's the cover right here.
Just about anywhere. If you on Amazon, at bookstores, at libraries. If you can't find it in the library, just ask them to get it for you. One of the nice things that happened to me, and it really makes me feel happy I wrote this book, was someone who's 40 years old said, I was planning to be a librarian, but I gave up. I'm 42.
Yeah.
And I thought, I read your book, and I really had the applications to the library, to be a librarian, in front of me. And to know that someone I didn't know, it made a difference to her. She thought, I'm 42, but I've always wanted to be a librarian. So I hope it inspires people to just follow their dreams.
Yeah.
It really do.
That has to be awfully rewarding to hear somebody tell you a story like that. By the way, for our viewers, I'll say this part, so Lally doesn't have to say it, but buy this book for goodness sakes, but don't go and just click once and order one copy. This is the kind of book that you want to give to people who need some inspiration, that are somewhere in their life and they think they just can't get to the next step, but they need to read this book, The Fortune Teller's Prophecy. By the way, it's a memoir of an unlikely doctor, Lally Pia. Lally, you and I, we always go over time because you're so fascinating. I could talk to you forever, but I just want to give you a couple minutes to say anything you like about your book or about you or anything in the world you want to talk about.
I just want to tell people, no matter how hard life is, and trust me, it's hard for me to look at the news today, but no matter how bad things get, just realize you have within you what it takes to ride the storm. And just believe in the goodness of people, even though things sometimes seem so hard. I really, really, really feel that all that we have is within us to ride the storm.
Right.
So hang in there, guys.
Nice. And again, I don't want to be repetitive, but it's so easy to go to... I buy my books at Amazon. It's so easy. I click the button. It shows up the next day for no free shipping. But there's a lot of places you can buy these books. But wherever you go, and like I said with this one, don't click once to order a copy. Click 5 times, order 5 copies. You'll truly bless somebody by giving them this book. What an inspirational and true story. It's not made up. It's a real thing. And there's our evidence. Lally's right here. Lally, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I hope you'll come back again and again. Did we let you say everything you wanted to? Sometimes I cut people off.
You're doing great. I think I said everything I wanted to.
All right. Lally Pia. Oh, by the way, here's a picture of you. It's a purple background. Do you know what you're doing here?
I'm not sure I can see it.
Maybe giving a lecture or something like that. So it's one of the...
I was giving a talk about stories on stage in Davis.
Nice.
I think that's one of the pictures. And the other was I was with a bunch of women in film in the Bay Area. So.
Yeah, I should say this. I know we're way past time, but Lally's here, and I appreciate you. There's your website, lallypia.com. Very easy website. What will our viewers find if they go to your website?
They'll find excerpts that are not in the book. They'll find a song that I composed about not giving up, despite many things that happen to you. They'll find links to events that are coming up. They'll find more about me than they want to know. So.
Thank you, Lally. As we leave here, I'm going to put the cover of the book up so our viewers could notate it. I'll leave the Lally's web address up so you can find her. And I'm honored to know you and honored to talk to you, Lally. For our viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with another international author right after this.
Thank you, Mike.
Hang on.